Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pentiment. My name's Heliax, and we're here with our girl Magdalene, and we're going around talking to the people of Tassing, trying to get the full, unbiased, true story of the history of Tassing. We talked to Il Peter last time, and we got some of the sort of pagan myths around the founding of Tassing, how there was this barbaric tribe, or tribe of barbarians. Let's not use barbarians. There's this tribe of, I don't know if they're Germanic people, but they're tribes of barbarians. Why not? And I guess there was one tribe that could not find a place to settle because of other competition and just not being able to find a place. And I guess he trusts a wolf, and that's why wolves are sacred to the old ways. Because it represents Percha? Is it Perchta? Percha or Perchta? Something like that. The leader of the wild hunt, and the wolves are the leaders of the hunts. And they found a spring. This spring has been mentioned in the past, both in the founding of Tassing with Saint Moritz, and also with the Romans, I believe. And this is another tale, so the spring seems to be pretty central to the founding of Tassing. And I don't know if the spring is where the cistern was, if that's the spring we're talking about, or where that would be if we found it or not. But it seems to be pretty central. But now we're heading on our way to talk to Black Till, who's going to tell us the Roman stories. So, first, Indris. I didn't think he'd wanted to speak to us, but hello. Hello, Magdalene. How's Klaus? Reese and I are very worried. Reese! Alive, and that's what matters. Did you discover who attacked him? No. Whoever it was, they left no sign. A terrible crime. Terrible. May God look after you both. We've had enough tragedy in this town. Fortunately, Dr. Stolz appears to have found his purpose. I remember him being so sad when I was a girl. Yeah. Why was he so sad? Ha. You're still a girl. He was once the picture of arrogance, masked a sadness, I think. I'd like to talk about how he was destined for better places than this backwater alpine town. I remember that. How he was meant for the courts of kings. No longer. He grew up. What changed? The revolts, no doubt, changed everyone. But he's the one who saw the bodies. He's not a heartless man, Magdalene. He deserves our compassion. Ah, but I shouldn't gossip. If there's anything Reese and I can do for you, let us know. I will. Thank you for your kindness, Indris. It's nothing. I owe your father more than I can say. Take care, Magdalene. You take care, too. So, Reese is the woman he found. Hello, Mr. Struckerin. How's Klaus? Indris and I have been terribly worried. Dad's spirits are high, but he still gets headaches and spouts of dizziness. If there's anything we can do with it, or if there's anything we can help you with, let us know. Indris is always ready to provide. He and Klaus have been friends for a long time. My thanks to you both. We're certainly grateful. If you don't mind, you weren't born in Tassing, am I right? No, I'm originally from Innsbruck. He did take my advice. Good man. How'd you arrive here? The twists of Providence are sudden and unpredictable. I was but a young girl, selling all manner of wares on the market, pots and the like. One day, this man appears to the stall, all jitters and nerves, stammering over his words, but charming in a way. We spoke at length. I was intrigued and soon enamored, as if a candle had been lit. Indris is a man of talent and means, after all, blessed with a kind soul. How did it feel to leave home for someone somewhere far away, uprooting yourself from the life you had? Frightening, to be sure, leaving Innsbruck, my friends and family behind. But it's exciting as well, going out to find new opportunities and build a new life. There wasn't much I had to look forward to in Innsbruck, few prospects for a poor girl. I couldn't see myself sitting at the market, continuing to sell odds and ends. Sometimes there are risks we just have to take. It's very inspiring, Reese. I'm glad you found happiness here. I'm still unsure. You can't actually know how life would have turned out had you stayed in Innsbruck. It's very inspiring. We all struggle in this world, but the moments of joy outweigh the bad. It's how God has set the world. His benevolence guiding us through it all. I feel I've been blessed, and it's not been all bad for Indris either. I assist him with the bookkeeping side of the smithy and other things. You must be very good with numbers then. The smithy provides a crucial trade. Thank you for telling me about your past. I hope I've made things right. I've made the right choices so far. I must be very good with numbers. The market's taught me well. I'm a fair bit more comfortable with numbers than Indris is, to say the least. I can't tell you any true answers, but I hope I've provided some encouragement. Don't forget you are important as well, and deserve to live your life. Alright, I have to assist Indris with a few things. Be well, Magdalene. Until later. Clarice? Oh, is that your Reese's must be your nickname. Let's see. Matilda. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Matilda. Hello, Wilslav. How are you two? Very well. The Lord has blessed us more than we deserve. And how are you, Magdalene? I was worried with you keeping the house and the workshop all on your own. Let me bring some soup for you and your father. You're very kind, Matilda, thank you. Dad would love that. I've hardly had a moment to cook a hot meal. Between your father, the shop, and the mural, I'm surprised you're not dead on your feet. He's very lucky to have such a devoted daughter. And before you worry about imposing, you're not. Taking care of our neighbors is how Tilda and I serve Tassing. Our vocation may have changed, but our gratitude to God and the town has not. You've always been so dedicated to the town. It's hard to imagine you two ever lived in the Abbey. Ha! Sometimes those days feel like another lifetime. Hey, you're probably pretty old, Wojslav. A harder time, to be sure. Life feels pretty hard now. I thought the Abbey was better off than the town in those years. Were the Benedictines anything like the Poor Clares? We lived simple lives of devotion, but not that simple. I'm given the understanding they don't make art in the convent now. Such a shame, in that beautiful workshop. In any case, a nun's vows include dedication to a simple life, with all the challenges that entails. But I struggled. With my vows, my discipline, I couldn't live as my sisters did. I broke my vows, as did Voslav. You fell in love. We did. Well, I seduced her. You certainly did not. Are you telling young Magda here that you seduced me, then? Voslav, please! Ha ha ha. So you left the Abbey. Though no one learned of what we did, the matter ate at my heart. That and being falsely accused of murdering the old Baron terrified you, and rightly so. Wait, you didn't get accused. We all must account for our sins, Magdalene. I was afraid I would account for mine sooner than I thought. Those were the hardest years of my life. I repented and prayed to God to absolve me. But the Lord always provides, even in the darkest days. The Abbey's destruction gave us a second chance. I can't imagine that the townsfolk were too happy to let you stay. It must be strange to leave that life after so long. That must have been incredibly difficult. Yeah, it must have been. Many of the other brothers and sisters left for other callings, and it was simple enough to set up shop here. I miss the sisters terribly some days, but, truthfully, it's been a relief not to be constrained by my vows. The Lord forgives more readily than man, Magdalene. Never think that you must remain in a place that causes you to sin, even if others think it godly. I'm glad you two are finally able to live life together. You both deserve it. Yeah, you deserve it. Only by the grace of God are we in this life together. May it be many more years before we part. God willing. Anyway, Magdalene, I'll send the soup over to you shortly. Thank you, Matilda. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless. I'm glad they found some happiness. That's nice. Elsa? Magdalene, dear. And Anna? Good day, Magdalene. Hi. How is your father? He's doing better, I think. We're lucky to have Dr. Stolz in Tassing. He's a hard worker. May God bless Klaus with a speedy recovery. May he be gracious. How are you two? I'm delighted to enjoy another beautiful autumn day. I'm just glad to be sitting down for a moment. I'm so tired, wrung dry. Andreas and Ulrich can wear down even the most vigorous person. Not even young Oates could keep up with these two. The blessing and curse of small children. Mom! Ulrich? Is she alright? Oh, I thought Ulrich was a boy. Maybe that's why it's spelled like that. Ulrich? Ulrich? I don't know. Oh yes, she wanted to run off and hide so I could find her. After I've caught my breath for a moment. I don't think she appreciates me taking this long. You're not playing along, Andreas? Hiding like your sister? No. This young man won't lose sight of his mom. Say, Magdalene, could you perhaps go find Ulrich in my stead? Oh, of course, I'd be delighted. Sure. Wonderful. She's somewhere in town, although I'm not sure where by now. She ran up the street toward the bakery. I imagine you can find her by the giggling. I'll be up then. Sure, I'll go find him. Why not? Good morning. Hello. Hopefully this doesn't take time out of my day, because that would be a pain. Aha. Aha, there you are. You found me. Bet you can't find me again, Mag. Oh no, we didn't want to keep playing. Dad always brought anise cakes from Gret to help soothe my stomach when I was ill. Guess we'll stop in. See how Gret's doing. Magdalene, darling. Good morning, Gret. It smells heavenly in here. Oh, I've just finished rolling out some raisin bread. Yum. I thought that Andreas and Ulrich could use a treat today. Oh, what a sweet idea. Any special occasion? Aren't you worried about spoiling them? What a sweet idea. I had some spare time today, and I'd like to stay busy. The soul of the diligent shall be made rich, after all. Besides, I like to drop in on Anna and see my grandchildren. I'm more blessed than I ever imagined I would be. Paul and Anna make such a lovely pair. Ulrich wouldn't believe his eyes if he saw us now. I wish he could see his grandchildren. Oh boy. I'm sure he's rejoicing with all the saints in heaven, Gret. I did always think it was strange that your daughter married the son of the man who killed your husband. Oh yeah, that is kind of strange, isn't it? I'm sorry that his sacrifice was what was needed to bring your families together. You have to pray to Saint Joseph on his behalf. That way Ulrich will know that you and Anna are doing well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Thank you, Magdalene dear. I'll light a votive candle for him later today. Small candles lit during prayer in churches, symbolizing a specific offering or request on the behalf of the prayer giver. You know, I was angry when Anna first took a liking to young Paul. He was always a quiet boy, but I was afraid he'd turn out like his father. Well, I needn't have worried. Paul is a good man and a good father. He's built this town back up from what it was. And Elsa dotes on those children more than I do. She's certainly come a long way from the meek woman I met. Actually, have you seen Ulrich? Elsa sent me to look for her. We're playing hide and seek. Really, she seems so kind though. I can't imagine her as anything else. Well, I think not having to live Lindhart helps. Yeah, I've heard the stories. Well, though I wouldn't phrase it as such, I agree with you. She's twice the woman she was with him. The Lord provides miracles to us all, even if they are birthed from tragedy. Ah, I've been chatting too long. My dough needs tending. Please excuse me, Magdalene. Of course, Gret. Until later. Yeah, it hadn't even crossed my mind that Anna, that Paul's dad killed Anna's husband, or Anna's dad. It's crazy. Carl? Good day, Mistress Druckerin. Could have made my name sound more elegant, Druckerin. Sorry if your last name's Druckerin. Druckerin. I'm probably not even pronouncing it correctly, to be honest. Alright, where is that little rascal at? Werner? Hello, Magdalene. How are you? Well enough, considering the circumstances. I'm glad to hear it. You're being admirably level-headed, given your challenges. For what it's worth, though, Klaus and I haven't always seen eye to eye, I've always respected him. Dad respects you as well. Thank you for saying so. Over the years, I've grown to find his stubbornness admirable. It's a quality you share, evidenced in your work on the mural. I know you wish it wasn't me. What I wish doesn't matter. God evidently has other plans. All the same, the Council does not want to regret their lenience. You all have so little faith in me, but I'll prove you wrong. Good. Go on then, I have patience to tend to. Until later. Yeah, you could make the best goddamn mural that's ever been. Oh, there she is. I did go the right way. Ciao. Hello. What a mess. I don't know how yet. Yeah, I think we've read that one. Gotcha. Got you. Aw, you found me again. Wait here. I'll find a better spot. Wonder what this is gonna lead to. Steinhours. Hello, Agnes. Good morning, Magdalene. Brisk weather today, isn't it? And still Kraft is out there working with Father Thomas to repair the church. I worry about that boy sometimes. He works the stone, but I'm not always sure he has his mind set on it. He's working hard to mend the holes in his father made in Tassing. Masonry is a good trade. Everyone needs a stone mason now and then to repair things. That they do. Lucky always harped on about how being honest and trustworthy is the most valuable currency. How in this life hard work and reputation matter the most. Kraft has taken that to heart, I think. He does a lot of good for the town. I've offered to find an apprenticeship for him, but he won't make his damn mind up. He deserves a chance at the life he wants. He's lived in his father's shadow for too long. He's a good man, Agnes. You should be proud. Thank you, Magdalene. I've done my best for my household despite what's happened in the past few decades. Ah, well. You didn't come here to hear me ramble on about my family. What can I do for you? I thought you might have some additional remedies for my father. Are Werner's not enough? I understand Klaus's condition is dire, but I thought Werner would be able to provide something. I know it won't save him, but I still want to try everything I can. Every little bit helps him. I understand. Let me see what I can whip up. I can't promise anything, but God willing, I pray it provides some small help. Thank you, Agnes. Of course, Magdalene. Take care. Well, that's nice of her. I never got to ask her about that yellow flower. Kraft. Hey, Magdalene. Where'd that little rascal go? There's my house again. Found you. You can't hide from me, little bean. You're too good, Mag. I will go find Mom now. Good. See if Father Thomas wants to talk. Assuming he's even in here. There he is. Oh. God bless you, Magdalene. And you, Father Thomas. You look troubled. What's the matter? I seem to have lost the key to the tabernacle. Without it, we'd have to go without the Eucharist on Sunday. That's not good. The Eucharist is the consecrated elements of communion, also called the Lord's Supper or Holy Communion. In Catholicism, the Eucharist refers to the bread and wine after they have been transubstantiated into the body and blood of Christ, which is also one of the big points of contention with a lot of the other Christian faiths. In case you didn't know. I don't know why. That doesn't really matter. But anyway. Is that very bad? Can't you borrow some from the poor Clares? Well, it's only bread, right? Surely, Jesus. I think I would know better, right? Or maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how much like the common person knew about it back then. I'm unsure. Maybe. Can't you borrow some from the poor Clares? What? Oh no, I consecrate the host for them as well. I unusually take it to them take it to them before we begin Mass in town. Without the Blessed Sacrament, we cannot truly celebrate Mass. Without Mass, everyone in passing risks their salvation. You really shouldn't be losing that key then. So our salvation could be in peril because you lost the key to the tabernacle? Well, I wouldn't put it quite like that. Should I need to, I'll have Gret bake a loaf and I can consecrate that. Even afterward, I cannot leave the host out. I must find the key. I'll keep an eye out for it, Father. Thank you, Magdalene. Please let me know if you have any ideas as to where it might be. God bless you. Okay. Where would he have left the key? Oh. I wonder if Sister Amelie has seen the tabernacle key anywhere. I should talk with her. She's still alive, huh? Hey. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Sister Amelie. What brings you to the church this time of day? Lighting another votive candle for your father. I was hoping to speak with you, sister. Have you seen Father Thomas's tabernacle key anywhere? He's misplaced it. I'm afraid I have not. Everything in the church has been as it should be. Though I did hear the two Gertner children come in last evening. I did not rise, but I heard their whispering for a moment. They left us suddenly as they came. Why didn't you say anything? I didn't think anything of it. Many people come into the church throughout the week. This is a sacred space, and the people of Tassing respect it as such. They respect my privacy in this place, and I respect theirs. I see. I've seen the twins come into confession more than most of the young folk in Tassing. Their intentions last night may have been pure. If not, however, it would be Christian to remind them that theft is against the Lord's commandments. You're right, I ought to mention that the next time I see them as a sister in Christ. Of course, I might go have a chat with them. They're always getting into trouble. Maybe I'll just tell Father Thomas they took the key. No. I'll have a chat with them. I advise that you do what you feel is right in your heart. Thank you, sister. God bless you. God bless you, Magdalene. The eavesdropper. The key to salvation. Okay. Well, let's go back over here. Talk to, Anna. Guess we can talk to Oates, too. Hey, buddy. Hey, Mags. Got your way with the mural, huh? I didn't expect you to convince the council like that. I can be pretty stubborn when I want to, Oates. Clearly. I'm impressed. The rest of the council has been arguing over the matter for so long, even I couldn't get a word in. Then you come in and shut them up in a few minutes. We could use more women like you in this town. What do you mean by that, Oates? There are plenty of opinionated women in town. Want to let us join the council? Well, you'd have to take that up with the Lord. Besides, I don't think any of them are as hard-headed as you. You're the exception, Magdalene. You always are. Clearly you've forgotten about Agnes. She doesn't suffer fools gladly. You really think so? Well, yeah. I wouldn't tell you that otherwise. You're, an admirable woman. Anyway, standing up to the council like that was great. I know I'm on the council, but sometimes it doesn't seem like I have any influence. You do, though. Oates actually seems insecure about his place on the council. He may be an ass sometimes, but I don't like to see him upset. He's always poking fun at me, too. Maybe I should remind him he's not that important after all. I don't like seeing him upset. Maybe I should reassure him. You do, though. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. Well, you are the youngest member on the council. The others have much more life experience. Maybe that's a good thing. You waste all your time with craft and Apollo anyway. You do, though. Only after your dad did. I still feel bad about that. I should have stuck up for you. Being the youngest one on the council has been harder than I thought. I know Baltus and Werner don't think I'm capable, and even Paul has warned me against being too rash. My dad died trying to make a difference in this town. All I'm trying to do is carry on his legacy, but it seems like the others won't make room for any change. Keep pushing, Oates. They're stuck in the past, but we're looking toward the future of Tassing. You sound like my dad. He always said that the council was scared of doing anything important. I don't think anything is going to change for the better in this town. It's stuck in its ways. Keep pushing, Oates. Thanks, Mags. Magdalene. It'll take time, but maybe they'll listen to me eventually. Oh, he was correcting it. I see. Ah, well, better get back to it. See you later, Mags. Blacktail. Wait, before I talk to you, just in case time passes, let's go talk to Anna. Oh, there we go. Ah, there you are. Had enough hiding, Ulrike? Yes. Magda found me so quick. She's a good finder. No one can escape me, little one. I'll hide better next time. I'm hungry now. Well, I'll have to get you something to eat then, little dove. Pretzel? Oh, is that what a proper child eats, Thank you for your time, Magdalene. Always glad to play with the children, but I really have to go now. I can't wait to see what you'll end up painting. You will do us proud, I'm sure of that. I hope so. I hope too. Until later. Awesome. Okay. Let's go talk to Blacktails. I think we'll chat with Eva first. Hello, Eva. Magda, darling. Oates isn't here, I'm afraid. Oh? That's alright. I can find him later if I need to. I think he wandered off toward the Wrath House. Something about the council. But if you ask me, I think he's looking for you. That's sweet of him. He's been dropping by the Wrath House more often as of late. Doesn't he do any real work? Oh, yes. He's always working on the town council business these days. And he's still working at mastering carpentry, too. I suggested a few years ago that he take up an apprenticeship, but he was determined to remain in Tassing. I think he's more comfortable here, even if that means he'll never be the craftsman Odo was. I help him how I can, but there's only so much I know how to do. Besides, I think it feels like he's taking care of me, instead of the other way around. Funny how time does that. It's good of him to stay. I would worry that you'd be lonely otherwise. I think Dad misses Mom, even after all these years. Do you ever miss Odo? I would jump at the chance to leave Tassing if it didn't mean Dad would be left alone. I imagine Oates feels the same. Let's go with this one. Top one. Oh, even if he had gone, I wouldn't be alone. I have Mom and Jorg, and the rest of the family to help take care of. Besides, they keep me busy. I'll never want for anything, with Oates and the community here in Tassing. Are you and Blacktail not together? I miss my husband, but I'm proud of Oates. He's growing into a capable young man. I'm excited to see him grow into a husband and father, and make a wonderful partner. Whoever he marries will be a lucky woman. If it grows up, that is. He still acts like a boy half the time. No, I think, yeah. It's about that time to start finding a match, too. It's wonderful that God blessed Indris with a wife at last, but I'd rather not have Oates be in his position. Better to marry earlier. Well, he can raise a family. Anyway, I'm sure you have things to do. I'll let you get back to them. Always good to see you, Magda. You too, Eva. Christina. Yeah, are you guys not together? You guys have to be, right? God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Till. Do you have a moment? Rest in peace, Till. Of course, what do you need? Oates says you've been obsessed with your painting. I'm looking into the early history of tassing for the first part of the mural. Hey, I have other interests too. He's just jealous to spend more time with the mural than I did with him. He is fond of you. You can't blame the boy. Uh-oh. Anyway, what was it you wanted to know? I'm looking into the early history of tassing for the first part of the mural. Mother Illuminato said your grandfather read the history of the town. Ah, fertile fields. That is. Seemed like old pot shards and Latin trivia were all he ever talked about. All of Granddad's readings came from the Abbey's library, though. And you know what happened there. Poof, up in smoke. So you don't have any of his old books? I remember I was there. What I remember I was 2. I guess it's possible. It was pretty traumatic. Only a few. Granddad tried to buy some when the Abbey fell on hard times, but they were too expensive. But I can show you something better than books. Don't keep me in suspense. Didn't your dad ever teach you patience? I'm trying to build up some anticipation here. Right. So we don't have any books on the old pagans, but we do have their stuff. Shards of ceramic pots and animals, bricks from what looks to be an old forge, mountains of salt. Even found a little bear carved from amber. Where'd you find all this stuff? It's not just me. Carl finds things. Fabian, too. Any farmer would tell you the same. It's all out there in the fields, under the dirt. Can't go one season without turning up something. Where are you keeping these things? Nowhere. We just toss them into piles with the rest of the rocks and root clumps. Sure, it's interesting, but we can't do much of anything with the stuff except look at it. What do you think all of it means? I don't know. I don't follow. How do you think these people lived? What do you think they were like? Where do you think they all went? How do you think these people lived? Rough, I'd say, but comfortable. We don't find much of their clothes or their houses, so they must have rotted. Guess that would mean they were living in huts. But their tools are good quality. If they weren't rusted all to hell, I could probably use them today. I don't know why, but I assume they'd lived in caves or in the muck. They weren't Christians, but no doubt about that, but they weren't animals either. I'd say they had it hard, but they got by. Not so different from today, really. Earlier you mentioned something about salt. Did the pagans start the mine? Did they start the mine? Had to have, I'd say. Most people think it was a Roman project, but I think the Romans just dug out what was already there. That's why tassing was so important to the Romans in the first place. Salt. I'd always wondered why they'd settled in such a small alpine town. Do you think there's anything left of the pagans down there? I don't know. Anything they left would have to be preserved. Would have to be better preserved than what we dig out of the fields. Magdalene, tell me you aren't thinking of going down there. What if there's stuff that could help me with the mural? I'm definitely not thinking of going down there. Young lady, I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I know a lie when I hear one. That mine is hundreds of years old. You could break your neck just getting in there. It's worth it for the mural. It has to be perfect. Imagine how your dad would feel if you got hurt. Hey! Haggle background, made fun of Oates. Ooh. Impatient with Till. Was curious about the daily lives with pagans. Tried to lie to him. Dedicated to the mural's success, yeah. Then help me get down safely and he won't have to worry. Ah, you're bullheaded, just like your mother. And your father. Probably couldn't keep you out of there if I tried. Please, Till. Alright. Don't know how to get down there myself, but I know those twins have gotten in a time or two. Not that they have a trick. And Baltus might not be the most reliable man, but I don't doubt he could rig something up for you too. I promise I'll be careful. I'm holding you to that, young lady. This has been a big help. Glad to spread some knowledge around. Important for folk to know their past. You think all this pagan stuff will make it in the mural? I can bring some of the things the boys and I have found over to the Wrath House tomorrow, if that would help at all. That'd be great. I'm glad you're taking an interest, Magdalene. I thought no one cared about the pagans, but me and Granddad. I should warn you, if you do head into the forest, keep an eye out for the Lord's men. They're strict, worse now than they used to be. I'll be careful. Until tomorrow. Until then. Okay. Got a couple of things to talk to about Apollo, or talk to with Apollo and Artemis. Ask Baltus for help. Who do we want to ask for help? Apollo? Can we ask both of them? Try and ask both of them. 'Cause I'm pretty sure we'll find Apollo and Artemis on our way to the forest. Maybe. Hey, you found some of that stuff, right? No, okay. Magdalene, hello. I was just jotting down a few new ideas. Did you need something? Yes, if you have a moment. I need to get into the old salt mine, but I don't have a way down. Can you help me? To get into the salt mine? Yes. You must be on quite the adventure. Ideally, we could rig up a double pulley system to lower and raise yourself in the shaft. But that might take a while. Well, I would like to go in today if possible. Of course. Would a good length of rope suffice? You could brace against the wall of the mine shaft. Are you strong enough to support your own weight? Against the wall? I think so. Excellent. Thank you, Baltus. Of course. Here you go. Do be careful, though. Make sure the ropes are secure. I will. Until later. Good luck, Magdalene. Alright. We're gonna have a very short life. Alright. So, let's go... I'm trying to remember the route we took. I think we talked to Martin, because we got the book. So I think I want to go up to the mill first. Talk to Paul. See if anybody's in the Mueller house. I don't think anybody is. No. Okay. I'm surprised Paul doesn't want to help me paint the mural. Good morning, Magdalene. How's the mural coming along? Well, I think I'm off to start the first part of the mural today. I'll paint the founding of Tassing and the Romans. Well, you won't want any. Well, you won't want for any models. Tassing is littered with Roman ruins. It's almost a nuisance. What sort of mural are you creating, Magdalene? I believe Klaus was planning on a fresco. Well, I'll start with the intonatio, and then paint the fresco over it, so that I have a clear consistency. There's a few different techniques, but I think a fresco suits the Wrath House wall best. Why? Is the council planning to interfere with how I mix my paints? Let's go with the first one. Ah, I see. You have enough plaster. The Wrath House wall is so large, I was worried it wouldn't stay wet for long. Since when did the town miller know so much about art? It's been an interest of mine since childhood, but my father disapproved. After my mother and I left Tassing, we stayed with her family for a few months before we heard what happened. Your father's friend, Andreas, he encouraged me to draw. While we were away, I studied in my uncle's library. I've collected books about various art styles since we returned. I had no idea, Paul. Why didn't you want to paint the mural yourself? I can't imagine what I would have done if Dad didn't let me learn how to print and paint. That sounds like it was a difficult time to live through. Yeah, why don't you want to paint it? I'm not nearly as skilled as you or your father. I know I had my doubts about you taking on the project, Magdalene, but you're the most skilled artist in Tassing. After your father, of course. Ah, well. Anyway, I'm glad the mural is going well. Forgive my sudden questioning about it. I've been so busy preparing for the council's next meeting. I haven't had much time with Anna as I haven't had as much time with Anna as usual. She says I get a bit frantic when I'm overwhelmed. Is the council working on something new? I don't think the council work was all that... I didn't think council work was all that serious in such a small town. Maybe we should take some time off from the council, Paul. And let Jorg and Werner and Baltus run the town on their own? Christ, can you imagine? They'd be at each other's throats within a day. It took us 3 weeks to agree to institute yearly maintenance checks on every home in Tassing. The idea had quite a bit more pushback than we'd anticipated. New ideas always face some kind of opposition. I don't think you should let that stop you. You can understand the utility of the proposition, but it might feel like a nuisance. I can't imagine why. I'd certainly love it if my neighbors knows their way into my house every year. But it might feel like a nuisance. Precisely. That's the issue we've run into. This would help protect those in Tassing who don't have the skill to fix things themselves. Widows like Agnes or Gret. But without instituting it for the whole town, we can't enforce the proposition. In any case, the matter is far from resolved. I imagine spring will come before anything is actually done. Why don't they just have it where, like, every year, you have somebody go around and ask if somebody in the house, the owner of the house, wants an inspection. A quick inspection. Instead of, you know, making it seem like they're just going to come in one day and check the house without you even knowing it or wanting it. Like have an opt-out program, you know? God bless you. I didn't read what he said. Until later, Paul. I was thinking about politics. Or policies. Or whatever I don't even know. Meadow. Don't know why I talked to these guys, but we're gonna do it anyway. Killian. Hi. Nico. Magdalene. Good talk. I saw the achievements for this game, and there were surprisingly few amount of people who chose Hana to get killed. I don't know, for me, it was just... the evidence was pretty heavy against her, compared to the other two. I don't think she did it, but I don't think the other two did it either. Vaslav. Or Vaxlav, rather. Hello. Is there something I could do for you? Knives need sharpening? I'm Magdalene Druckerin. Are you a friend of Smokey's? I'm not sure, is there? I'm Magdalene Druckerin. I live in town. I'm Vaslav. Smokey let me share space with him sometime. I'm a tinker. Travel around and help people out with sharpening knives, little things like that. Druckerin, are you a printer's daughter? I am. My father is a printer. My father and I are both printers. Do you sample the wares much? As often as I can. Vasclav, don't. You're going to get in trouble again. What's he talking about? Nothing. Ignore him. Nothing? This one can't help but talk to people about all the strange things he believes. He reads all sorts of books, talks to odd folks. He gets ideas brewing in his head. Now that doesn't bother old Smokey none. It bothers some other people a whole lot. It doesn't bother me any. Well, if it doesn't bother you and it doesn't bother old Smokey, sounds like there's nothing to worry about. Fine. You get run out of here again, don't blame me. Again? Do you want to know what happened? A long time ago I got into an argument with some people in town. They told Father Thomas. To his credit, he told them to let it go, but somehow an inquisitor found out. Anyway, I had to leave for a while. So, books? Strange ideas? Yes, the host, the Eucharist, the bread and wine, body and blood of Christ. Holy Communion? What about it? More and more people are writing about rejecting transubstantiation. Hey, it's what I was just talking about. The idea that the bread and wine of the Eucharist is literally becomes the body and blood of Christ. Here we go. Yes? Well, There are two ways to look at it. The first on the grounds that Wycliffe and Huss rejected it. Using our eyes, our senses, there is nothing perceptible that changes in the character of the bread and the wine. It doesn't mean it hasn't actually changed, though. Must our senses necessarily encompass all of God's miracles for them to be real? No, not at all. But for what reasons would God place them outside of the compass of our understanding? As an act of faith, blessed are those who believe but have not seen. But if that is the case, of what importance is the material composition of the host? Even if the bread and wine turn to Christ's body and blood, why is that necessary for spiritual communion? We are bound by flesh, attempting to reunite with the light of God through the Eucharist. The observance, unites our will with that of Christ. God, He is present in us through the remembrance, not the physical act. Are you following this, Smokey? Isn't that heresy? So what does that matter? Are you saying we shouldn't take communion? No, there's nothing wrong with taking communion as a rite or act. But if you accept what I'm saying, there are other things I'd like to discuss. I'm not listening to any of this. Are you ready to hear why it's important to disbelieve in transubstantiation? Sure, why not? Yes, I'm certain this is leading somewhere good. No, I'm sorry, but I think I've heard enough. Sure, why not? I'll admit, I hoped for some more enthusiasm regarding the fate of our souls, but alright. This all starts with Lucifer creating the world. No, let him speak. God was the world, and the world was truth, and truth is light. The light is God's will. God's light contained aspects, what we consider angels, facets of his infinite intellect. One of those aspects separated itself from his intellect and manifested in the darkness as the corrupt will Lucifer. The darkness. To exist outside the boundaries of infinite light, the corrupt will brought into being an equally infinite darkness. Within that darkness, Lucifer cast his false light, a corrupted imitation of the divine intellect, to create the world. All material in our world is inherently a corrupted manifestation of that false light. We still have a connection to God through our intellect, but it is flawed by existing in our physical bodies. So Genesis is wrong. Was Jesus flawed by being a man even though he was born a virgin? Born of a virgin? Everybody's born a virgin. But you still believe we can be redeemed through Christ, right? Alright, now I definitely heard enough. Was Jesus flawed? He was not born of a virgin. I'm not hearing any of this. And it would not matter if he were. Lucifer was a rebellious splinter of God's will. The Christ appeared when God willed his divine intellect into Jesus. But you said that physical bodies were all corrupt. Yes, but while we are the heirs of Lucifer's rebellious intellect, Christ received wisdom from the light of God himself. He did truly die and was truly resurrected in body. But his reappearance was only important for him to convey the message of salvation to the people. In truth, resurrection is always happening, since if we die without grace, our souls are condemned to be reborn. This physical world is the only hell we know. Living again and again, the only torment. So what faith is he talking about? Like, this has to be some sort of, like, based off, I'd imagine, unless Obsidian made their own faith, but probably not, I'd imagine. I can't quite place it. It seems like it's got a bit of, like, reincarnation aspects to it, which is interesting. Maybe it's from, like, an Eastern sect of Christianity. I don't know. I think that's a sad way to look at life, so how do we escape it? Regular prayer, abstention from material desires, sublimation, and elimination of want. That just sounds like being a monk. No. Priests and monks both are corrupt agents of the business of the church. They have taken the simplicity of holy devotion and profaned it with pageantry. The saints, too. All this talk of Moritz and Satya and miracles, they're just stories. The church has led people astray. Put the hope of people in meaningless rituals, faith, and relics. I don't think so. I believe that Father Thomas teaches in the true gospel. I can see why you don't go into town much. You have some interesting ideas, but I can see why you don't go into town much. No one really wants me in town anyway. They want me to fix their knives and their pots and little things and be on my way. And that's fine with me. I've seen so much of the world, learned so many things. I made so many friends that I hope I'll see again if I ever come their way. Anyway, thank you for indulging me, Magdalene. It was illuminating. Until later. Until then. Smokey. Good day, Mr. Struckeren. I've told you, Smokey. Call me Magdalene. Old habits, I suppose. Where brings you to my corner of the woods? More gossip? Yes, actually. But first, I want to ask you some about the old salt mines. The mines? Is this a new interest of yours, Magdalene? I don't see the townsfolk trek out there as much anymore. Last I saw, there were 2 twins making trouble. They know a way in, but I'll be damned if I ever set foot close to that place. Well, what are you so interested in over there? The mural in Rathouse needs a section about the earliest days of Tassing. The mines are the oldest part of Tassing, and you keep a keen ear. I thought you might have heard something. I don't know about getting down into the mines, but I do know a fair few stories about them and the other Roman ruins around here. The old stories my father used to tell me when he was the burner of Tassing. The one about Mars and Tassia. The Roman nymph Tassing was named after. Her spring was the foundation of the town. Right, I remember seeing that's where the cistern. She's on the cistern. The nymph was always my favorite, though I blame that on my own youth. Tassia? Like Tassin. Folk named the town after a pagan god, a Roman one at that. I don't mind telling you to tell, Magdalene, but I warn you, it's a bit bawdy. Oh? Count me curious. Well, I need something about the Romans to paint on the mural. Count me curious. Ha! I won't be scandalizing you. Can't have your father hounding me for any coarseness. But I'll tell you the decent bits of what I remember. Alright, what's the story? Everyone excuse me from the fun. You have your fun in time, Magdalene. You just wait and see. Alright. So what's the story? Well, legends say that Mars was hunting in these woods and spied a fat boar for the taking. He just pulled back his spear when he heard a woman scream in terror. Of course, the creature ran off, and the god was angry at the loss of his quarry. So he tramped through the woods to see why a woman was in the forest and not in the local town. Why would a god be hunting in Tassing Forest? But I go into the forest all the time. Yes, but those were the old woods, Magdalene. The wilds, where spirits and ghosts prowled. What do you mean, prowled? Ghosts aren't real. Human spirits go to heaven or hell. They don't stay on earth. What do you mean, prowl? Prowled, like spirits and other evil things do. I can't just say they walked through the woods like you or me. They prowled. Alright, keep going. So, Mars found a nymph, Tassia, bathing in a spring with a fat, ugly satyr goading her from the shore. Enraged at seeing the trapped nymph, Mars transformed into a wolf and slew the satyr. Satyr? Satyr. The satyr. And in return, well, Tassia bathed the god. They bathed? Ha, I get it, they bathed. I did warn you, Magdalene. Where Mars left the pool, he dripped onto the ground and it blossomed with flowers and crops. They say that's why this valley is so fertile. That might be tricky to paint on the mural. I'm not sure that the council would approve. Oh my. I doubt they would, but you're the artist, aren't you? You get to choose what the mural shows. I wouldn't let those old bastards keep you from painting what you want. So much of what the Romans left behind was destroyed over the years, but I like that we still have these tales. You can never really destroy stories as long as there are people left to tell them. Of course, the Romans left a hell of a lot behind too. The town is more Roman than Bavarian, really. Well, we are part of the Holy Roman Empire. The largest and most powerful European state in its time, the Holy Roman Empire was made up of many peoples and suffered from much internal strife during the Reformation despite Emperor Maximilian's firm hand over the land. Because of how long it was a Roman colony? That's ridiculous. We're very not Roman. Oh, right. The town was named after Tassia, the nymph. Because of how long it was a Roman colony? That and how much of the town is built upon the Roman foundations. Casting is actually much smaller now than it was in the Roman days. At least that's what I make of it. The ruins go deep into the forest, and all the way to the old mine. Half of Tassing is built on Roman stone. Take a walk around town and you'll start noticing things. We used their stone to build. The old temple by Satia's shrine has grown over, but the aqueduct runs for miles. Even the abbey used to be an old Roman fort. You can see some of the Roman paved stones under the road if you look hard. We may not be Roman, but this town is. Tassing has been building upon itself for hundreds of years. What a beautiful idea. Never realized how much we relied on the Romans for our infrastructure. Old stones aren't much of a legacy. It's all rubble now. Reused and forgotten. What a beautiful idea. That's the way of things. Most people don't notice the old stones. Too busy in town to notice what's right in front of their eyes. Maybe I should go take a look at the mine. I'd get a better sense of what things were actually like. Nothing will stop you, I see. Well, I won't either. Just keep an eye out for any wolves or satyrs. Or satyrs, damn it. You might see down there. I'll let you know if I see any. Thanks for your help. Good luck, Magdalene. Be safe. Alrighty. Smoky stories. We're collecting all the stories. What we got here? I can't believe how quickly the leaves changed this year. Apollo? Hey, Magdalene. Hello, Apollo. What are you doing? Looking for frogs. Artemis says she saw one the other day, and we're trying to collect a bunch. What do you need the frogs for? Like I'll tell you, you'll snitch. If you don't tell me, maybe I will snitch. Your mother won't be happy to hear about whatever you're up to. I won't. Yeah, right. Sorry, Mags. I'm not telling you. You'll just have to wait and see. Or ask Artemis. Maybe she'll tell you. Fine, I'll go talk to your sister. But be careful. I've already had to go to confession this year. Oh, we know. Alright. Let's go up to Sati's shrine first. There she is. Oh, hey, Magdalene. Do you need something? I'm a little busy right now. I need you to show me how you and Apollo get in and out of the old salt mine. The mine? Damn, Magda. Why do you need to get down there? I want to see what our forefathers in the Romans left behind. It's for the mural. The mural? You want to use our secret hideout for your mural? I want to see if they left anything down there I could use as a reference. Your secret hideout, but everyone knows you two hide down there. I want to use it as a reference. You're really into that whole Rathouse project, aren't you? Why should I show you how to get in? Please, Artemis. I won't go in ever again. I just need your help this once. Because we're friends? Yeah, because we're friends. You told my mother when I cut my hair so I didn't have to wear braids 5 years ago. I still hold that grudge. Look, I'll show you how to get into the mines on one condition. You help Apollo and me with our next prank. No telling, no snitching, no questions asked. Fine, tell me what you're up to. Father Thomas has been droning on and on about the plagues of Egypt, right? Apollo and I are collecting frogs to hide in the tabernacle. When Father Thomas opens it on Sunday, frogs will go everywhere. That seems like a really bad idea. We've already been to confession this year. Exactly, Magdalene. Exactly. So, what do you want me to do? We stole the tabernacle key, but we need to put it back before he notices. So Sister Amelie was right. You did take the key. You want me to put the key back? Precisely. Look, we stole the key early. Stole the key early to make sure it was the right one. We still need it. We'll steal it again once we actually stuff the frogs in there. But in the meantime, it needs to go back. I need to replace the key on the altar in the church. Apollo and I won't attract too much attention, but you You're the town's goody-goody. Which is why I'm taking absolutely no part in this. Sorry, Sister Artemis. I'm not that bad, am I? Well, not entirely. It's not your fault Oates moons over you. The council lets you get away with anything. Anyway, will you do it? I'll get you into the mine if you do. I need a way to get into the mine, but this seems risky. I shouldn't let the twins get away with this. They cause enough trouble as it is. The twins are always causing trouble, but this prank seems harmless. Father Thomas will be missing his key too. Going along with this can't cause that much trouble, can it? Alright, give me the key. Perfect. Good luck, Magdalene. Let me know when it's done. We're not a goody-goody, okay? We can be bad.